So hi everyone, thank you for joining us once again. It is National Puppy Day and we are here with another glimpse into the lives of these adorable future service dogs. My name is Susan Porteous and I'm the Northwest Region Puppy Program Manager, which means that I have the pleasure of working with the volunteer puppy raisers who will have these little guys over the next 18 months. And actually, since he's sitting right here with me, I wanted to let everyone know that we did have a casting change here with the litter. So little Mr. Rain actually had to fly out on one of our private flights to meet his puppy raiser. So now our red collar is Mr. Pele, and Pele is of course from the P litter. That is just only a day or two older than these other guys. So he is already having a blast hanging out with his new buddies and hanging out with me, huh bud? And we're sure that Rain's puppy raiser is very, very excited to be meeting him later today. So I am here to talk a little bit about puppy raising, what it is, and what kind of impact it has. So if you don't know what a puppy raiser is, they are volunteers who take puppies into their home when they're just about this little, about 8 weeks old, and they have them for about a year and a half or so. And during that time, they have just a huge role to play in the development of that future service dog. Hi, buddy.
That's Roberto.
There's Roberto. He's going to get him.
He's going to eat him.
You're going to beat your friend up, huh? So during that time that they're with their puppy raiser, the puppy raiser is exposing them to all kinds of things that they will also see in their life as a service dog. So I know James earlier chatted with you guys a little bit about what is socialization. But that is exposing the puppy to all sorts of sights and sounds and smells and people and other animals and all the things that the world has to offer and that they will go on to see in their life as service dogs. Yeah, hi, thank you. And if those exposures are really positive when the puppies are young and impressionable and learning, then it's no big deal when they see those things in their working life as a service dog. It doesn't bother them, they're not concerned. I've been to the bank before, I've been to the mall before, I've seen other dogs before, and they can ignore those distractions and just be those confident, focused service dogs that we know they are meant to be. Puppy raisers are also, of course, doing some basic training with these guys. So they learn their sit and down and stay. You are biting my hip, friend. Nibbly, sharp teeth. That's another thing that their puppy raisers get to work on with them. So they are going to be teaching them how to be wonderful members of society. So having lovely manners in the house, interacting with people in sweet and gentle ways instead of using those little piranha teeth. And again, really setting them up for success in their lives as service dogs, right? Yeah. And our puppy raisers also take on a lot of time and financial commitment as well. They're paying for those puppies to have food and veterinary care and making sure that they go to puppy classes and making sure that they have all of their needs met and get lots and lots of love so that they can go on to be fabulous Canine Companions service dogs once they grow up. You want to come back and hang out with us here, Pele? Come here, buddy. Hi. Yeah. So even during the time that a puppy is with their raiser, they're making a huge impact out in the world because they are wearing those little vests when they're going places. They're teaching the world about what a future service dog should look like, what sorts of things they should be learning and experiencing in their life. For a lot of people that may have never seen a working service dog, a puppy raiser might be their first introduction to what a real service dog is and what they should look like. So there's a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of those puppy raisers to make a positive impact in their community, even when that puppy is this little and cute and not really acting like a full working service dog should yet. We know that they're on the path and learning all of those things to grow up and make that difference. Hi. Yeah, you goofball. And then once the puppies do leave their volunteer puppy raisers, they're going to spend about 5 to 9 months in professional training, learning all of those real service dog tasks. So picking up dropped items, turning on and off lights, opening doors and drawers, or for some of our other categories, they might be alerting to sounds in the environment or interrupting nightmares or anxiety type behaviors. So lots and lots of things to learn before they are ultimately placed with their new partners. And that's, of course, when we see the real impact of everything that all of those, the volunteer breeder caretakers and the puppy raisers and the trainers and all of that hard work that's gone into those dogs, then we see the real impact when they're out working in the world. Because like I said, if that puppy has had really positive exposures to all of these things when they're young, then we get to see them be that really confident, successful service dog and bring so much independence to the people that are working with them. There are lots and lots of ways that a puppy raiser makes a big impact all along the process. Get you two beating each other up.
Yeah, well, this is day one with the capes, as we let them know, so there's a lot of fun happening here.
And as James might have also mentioned, part of early socialization when they're this age is learning how to interact with each other. And sometimes puppies don't know any better and they might nip at each other a little harder than they should, but they teach each other to keep all of that in check. So it's very normal and very appropriate for these guys to be nibbling and chewing on each other at this age. We're also at the age where we start learning that maybe we shouldn't nibble on our humans, right? Yeah, even though it's so fun to nibble on our humans. Well, let's see, do we have any questions that have come in yet?
Let's see. Well, one thing I think we could maybe expand on a question is like, oh, sorry, puppy's got my tripod. The impact of puppy raising, like, have you heard any stories from puppy raisers about, you know, meeting the person who has matched with their dog or, you know, any of that?
So that is, I won't deny that the day that you give that puppy up is the hardest day of being a puppy raiser. But the day that you get the call to come back to graduation and see that dog now match with their new partner makes it all worth it times 10. So we invite our puppy raisers to come back to that graduation ceremony. They get to have lunch with the new person that's going home with that dog that they raised. And then during our ceremony, we have them ceremoniously pass the leash from the puppy raiser to the graduate to symbolize that amazing gift that they have given that person. And that is an incredible moment, to have that connection, see the full circle complete of puppy raiser to service dog, and for our raisers to meet those graduates and learn what is the impact that this dog is going to have in their life. And we've had some really cool coincidences that have turned out incredible stories for those service dogs of a puppy who was raised on a college campus and then is placed with a, oh my goodness, kiddo. So a puppy that's raised by a college student, living on a college campus, going to classes, and then their perfect match turns out to also be a college student. So that puppy growing up on a college campus now becomes a service dog working on a college campus. And they've already been to the dining hall, and they've already been to classes, and it's just an absolutely perfect environment. I also heard of one where the puppy raiser was an elementary school teacher. So the puppy's going to class with her every day, meeting those kids. The kids are getting to learn about service dogs. And then come to find out that dog's perfect match was to be a facility dog in a special education system. So again, right back to where they started, the puppy raiser and the graduate had so much to talk about and share stories about the different students that were going to be impacted by this dog's presence in the classroom. And just really, really cool stuff that we get to be a part of.
So I have another question here. Oh, these puppies are excited, you guys.
Yeah.
Another question, somebody asked, do the puppy raisers stay in touch with the recipients?
Yeah, so we leave it up to each of those graduates, each of our clients, because some people do prefer their privacy a bit. But for the most part, most of our graduates love having a relationship with a puppy raiser. And it's so fun for them to get to hear all the stories of what their service dog was like growing up. And then so special for the puppy raiser to get to see the continued impact that that dog is having out in the community. We've had some puppy raisers that have become such great friends with the graduate that they're getting together for holidays. I've seen people go on vacations together, or even if it's just, you know, the occasional Facebook message, it's still just a really cool relationship that we have. Come here, guys.
Yeah,
You come here. Where'd your coat go? You're naked. Yeah. So we love to have those relationships in our community because it is such a huge community, and we have our chapters all around where graduates and puppy raisers and breeder caretakers and other volunteers can all be a part of that community and support each other. That it's really, really great to see those two communities become one community and interact with each other so much.
And then I know probably most of our folks watching might know this, but tell us what a need we have for puppy raisers.
Yes. So we are in the midst of what we lovingly call a pupnado or a puppy blizzard, in that our breeding program has been incredibly successful, which is wonderful, with big litters and lots of little service dogs ready to go out into the world. But that means that we need more puppy raisers. We need them all over the country, so anywhere you live, whether you're near one of those volunteer chapters or not, we can still get you involved. We have lots of online resources, so you will still have lots of support from that community, even if you're not there to see them in person. You get my shoe cover. Yes. And we have puppies that are ready and waiting to go out to those raisers. There is an application process, so I encourage you to check that out and get involved as soon as you're ready. You can learn more about that at canine.org/raise, where there's some basic information and the link to get started. And we would love to chat with you more about what you've got in mind.
We have a lot of questions here, Susan.
Excellent.
One more. How do we, if we want to donate or help, how do we help these puppies become, future service dogs?
Absolutely. So you can, and especially if you are in love with these little puppies, you can specifically sign up to sponsor a puppy. We have 2 puppies right now. I believe their names are Nara and Scotty. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. That you can choose to sponsor, and you get a little goodie bag that goes with it to show that you're sponsoring Scotty and kind of helping him out. So you can learn more about that at canine.org/sponsor-a-pup.
Awesome. Kevin's got a few questions.
Perfect.
All right. First question is, are Canine Companions puppies ages 2 to 18 months allowed to go to the same places as working service dogs?
Oh, that is an excellent question. So I'm going to repeat that because I think it was a little quiet. But the question was, are those puppies that are ages 2 to 18 months, are they allowed to go all the same places as a working service dog? So not under legal protection. Once dogs are actively working with their partner, they are protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act, and that means they're allowed to go anywhere that the public is allowed to go. At this age, we are relying on the goodwill of business owners to let us bring these puppies into public spaces. It's great exposure for them. It's fabulous practice. Our puppy raisers have a lot of information and training about how these puppies should be acting in a public space so that they don't become an impediment. But legally, it is up to that business owner whether or not we can come in. It's always a good opportunity to educate because they may not know what a real service dog looks like and what sorts of questions they can ask. So we do encourage our puppy raisers to have that open conversation with them, provide them a little bit of literature, but at the end of the day, if that business owner does ask you to leave, we just bow out respectfully and then maybe follow up with them with some education on a later date to make sure that a working service dog never gets excluded from that location.
All right. Do you often have large companies, WWE, news headquarters, brands, etc., sponsor puppies, and would we do more of these?
Yes, so that question was about large brands sponsoring puppies. And we actually, is this him right here?
Is that Roberto?
Is this Roberto?
Yes, that's Roberto, Pittsburgh Today Live Pup.
Yes, so we do have news organizations, sports teams, companies, all sorts of different options where they can follow a puppy and see their whole journey and maybe get their employees engaged in learning more about service dogs and canine companions. So Mr. Roberto here is our Pittsburgh Today Live puppy. So they just announced his name on there, I believe this morning. He will be joining them in the studio so that they can follow his journey all the way along. So if anyone is, thinking about this, asking that question because you've got a company or an organization in mind, definitely share information about us, send a message our way, and we would love to talk about it more.
One more. Are there any options for people who would like to puppy raise but cannot commit for so long?
Yes, so that question was if you're interested in puppy raising but not able to commit for so long. So we've got a few different options depending on exactly where you live. One of the options that's my personal favorite is we also partner with several correctional facilities around the country. Oh, there we go. We're going to get you dressed back up here, Rhett. Yeah. So in our prison programs, we do have inmates who are working alongside our volunteer puppy raisers to raise and train those puppies. And that is mutually beneficial. So it helps for that puppy raiser who maybe doesn't have all of the time or the resources to have that puppy for the full time. And then on the side of the inmates, it's really an incredible rehabilitative program we have seen decreased recidivism rates. So those are individuals who are then released from the prison and they are not recommitting crimes and ending up back in the prison system. They're also showing increased empathy and respect. They have career goals because a lot of them can then go on to become dog trainers or work with us or continue to volunteer with us once they're done with their sentence. So it's a really, really fabulous program. I'm super proud to be a part of it. I love interacting with our incarcerated puppy raisers and seeing the relationships that they form with the puppies and with us, and even to a degree with those puppy raisers that are on the outside. We also will have some individuals that'll buddy up with just another family to be co-raisers, so that maybe someone can't have the puppy the full time, or they really like baby puppies but can't do some of the older puppy stuff. So there's lots of options. Even if you can't commit to that full 18 months, I still definitely encourage checking us out, and we'll see if we can find a good fit for you.
Let's see, do you have any other questions? All right, let me see. Someone asked what we feed our puppies. This doesn't have to be a super long one, but maybe shout out to our corporate partner.
Yeah, so we'll give a little shout out to Yukonuba. So they have been fabulous supporters of ours for a long time, and they do great with our puppies and our working service dogs, so we're definitely happy to partner with Yukonuba.
Just a little note here, Karen Cervantes says, I co-raised a puppy with an inmate. It was a great experience for both myself and the puppy.
Absolutely. And that puppy is now doing fabulously in professional training. So
we love that.
We
I think
love
that
it.
her name starts with an H.
That's right. Yo, my dear, you're chewing on my little booty covers. There
All
we
right,
go.
let's see if we have any more questions.
And I can also talk about one of our other cool puppy raising programs that we have, which are our college programs. So most of those clubs, we call them Collar Scholars. And those are incredibly dedicated young individuals who are raising puppies, raising awareness, raising funds, and doing so much for us on college universities all over the United States. We have a lot of career opportunities that come up through being in a college program. I started out as a college puppy raiser, and 6 puppies later and 3 litters of puppies later, here we are. So you never know when you might stumble upon what turns out to be your dream job, to be bathed in puppies on a daily basis here, right, kiddo? So if you are a college student, or if you know someone who's a college student who's maybe looking for a way to get involved in their community, our Collar Scholars program might be the right fit for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Susan, you mentioned having litters of puppies at your house. I know
Yes.
we're here to talk about puppy raising, but also if you're in the Northern California area, we really need those breeder caretakers. Can you tell us what a volunteer breeder caretaker is
Definitely.
and what you did?
So our volunteer breeder caretakers will have either a female or male, so mom or dad, who lives at home with them, and then they, for the females, will also have the litters of puppies in their home. So the puppy that I raised, I mentioned I raised 6 of them. Harmony was my 6th one, and she passed all of her behavioral and health testing with flying colors, and we decided that it would be best for her to go on and create the next generation of future service dogs. So Harmony came back to me, and I was her volunteer breeder caretaker, and she had 3 litters of puppies during the pandemic, so that was always an adventure too. But they were born in my home, and they stayed with me until they were about this big, about 8 weeks. And it's a lot of work, I won't deny. These puppies can be noisy and can be messy, but it was so special to see truly day by day the development of baby puppies. Every single day they could do something that they couldn't do yesterday, exploring new things. They would go out and play in the backyard and explore the world and touch grass for the first time, and all of those really special moments. And now I get to have a relationship with their volunteer puppy raisers all over the country, now that the puppies have left my home and have gone on. And now several of Harmony's puppies are working service dogs. She has a son who is now a breeder himself, so we're starting to see her grand puppies come up in the world. And again, being part of that community and seeing all the different ways that our graduates and raisers and other volunteers intersect has been a really special part of that journey too.
And we have one more question.
After a person gets a service dog from you, can they work with a trainer near them to teach additional tasks?
Well, say one more time.
When somebody gets a service dog, can they work with our training department to train additional?
Oh, okay, yes.
Can they? Yes. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So our dogs all come with what we'll kind of call the factory settings. So when they are placed with you, they know a lot of the basics of picking things up and opening doors and drawers and all of those sorts of things. But we recognize that each person with disabilities is very unique. We've had over 65 different types of disabilities that we have worked with and placed service dogs with those individuals, and each of them needs something a little bit different. So you have ongoing follow-up with our training staff at whichever campus is closest to you, and we also have several field representatives around the country that are also available to help out if you need someone a little bit closer to home. And they are there to help you through any training challenges or teaching new tasks, or if you have an access problem where someone doesn't want you to bring your service dog into their location. We have a lot of different ways that we're able to support those handlers and make sure that dog is... Hey, Levi! Come here, Peanut! Hi!
We got a lot to say.
We got a lot to say! To make sure that your service dog is doing as much as they possibly can for you and utilizing, the needs that you have, teaching the tasks that you need from them.
Okay, so that was the last one, but we really have a great question over
Okay.
here. Somebody said, I just got my service dog from Canine Companions in February. Now my parents want to raise a puppy. Has
Oh.
anyone done that before? A family with
Oh.
a service dog and a puppy?
Absolutely. We have service dog handlers themselves who are now raising puppies. I'm thinking of one in Idaho. Her name is Lacey, who has a service dog and has decided that she wants to give back to the program. So now she's raising a puppy along with her family. We have children of graduates, Colleen with her girls.
I'm thinking of the Zoofelds.
The Zoofelds, yeah, we have lots and lots of families that either a direct member of that immediate family is raising a puppy, or aunt, uncle, grandma, child, the friends, neighbors that realize that, wow, this is such a cool program, and I want to have more service dogs like that out in the world. What can I do to get involved? So yes, absolutely, we would love to have you.
Okay, cool. So I think we can just kind of wrap it up and wish.
All right. Yes, so sounds like that is the end of our questions. So thank you again for joining us here for National Puppy Day. These guys are in some ways starting to pass out, but I think we're also ready for another party here, huh? Yeah. So we're so grateful that you've joined us today for several live events. So thanks for hanging out with us all day long. Puppy Cam is going to be on until 9 p.m. tonight. Pacific. So all the way until midnight if you're over on the East Coast. You can have late night puppy love. So again, stick with us, and thank you so much for your questions. Thanks for joining, and happy Puppy Day.